So we finally have all 4 Fantastic Four members' abilities revealed through internal leaks, through the Season 1 trailer, through everything we know so far. This video will bring you all of that. But make sure to subscribe and comment below for your chance to win a Battle Pass coming for Season 1. Just make sure you comment below and subscribe. But first, we're going to be going over Mr. Fantastic's abilities. So first off, we have Elastic Punch. Stretch out a forward punch to attack enemies. Probably something long range like Groot's auto attacks. This is what I kind of envision it. The next one is going to be Brainiac Bounce, which is going to be his ultimate. Leap and smash, knocking back enemies within range. Upon hitting an enemy, leap again up to 6 times. I don't know exactly what this is going to look like, but it kind of reminds me of something like Zack's ultimate from League of Legends. I'm guessing it'll be something like this, of course in a 3D more environment. Of course, this one only bounces about 4 times, but this one requires skill and you have to hit the enemy to get a reset. And only up to 6 times. I'm guessing you can corner someone and then basically keep him pinned up. The next one is going to be Reflexive Rubber. Stretch body to absorb damage before launching store damage in the targeted direction. So actually no one in Marvel Rivals has this type of ability right now. You can maybe think Magneto and his bubble, gaining Magneto rings and then dealing more damage with his knockback ability, the right click. But that's not really kind of like this one. This was a little different. Since it makes your hitbox a bit bigger, so you can be a big barrier for your team and then just deal a bunch of damage to the enemy. Next one is going to be Flexible Elongation. Select the target and dash at it, dealing damage to enemies and granting bonus health to allies. It's weird, it says select a target. That means I think it'll be like Iron Fist's auto lock on auto attacks. So like you look at them and then you'll just dash at them, and then probably gives bonus health to allies in a circle radius around you. So he might be a really good dive champ. As this game is kind of missing divers, it only has one like Venom, but I assume he'll be a dive vanguard. Next one is going to be Rubber Grip. Extend arms forward to entangle hit enemies, then press left click to select and yank 2 more enemies. So this seems like a CC ability, kind of similar to Zack in League of Legends, like his Q if you've ever seen it. But honestly, this ability seems super strong. It's a right click. If it does CC them, stun them, it's going to be a very strong ability. Right now in Marvel Rivals, there's only one Vanguard who has a CC, and that's Penny Parker with her right click that stuns. Every other CC is like an ultimate. Or I guess you can include Venom's Diving Strike, which launches enemies up. Thor has his shift where he dives his hammer into enemies, but it's only one person. Magneto does have a knockback on his right click. Again, only one person. But we'll see how this works. This will be interesting. This actually seems really OP. Next up is going to be his passive Elastic Strength. Skills generate elasticity, boosting attack power. Reaching full elasticity triggers an inflated state that restores health and boosts even more damage. Yeah, I mean, when you put this all together, he's got a shield, he's got CC, he's got a lot of damage. This might seem like he's an uber tank and maybe permaban over the Hela and Hawkeye, who are getting nerfs later in this season. So this will be very interesting to see. That's it for Mr. Fantastic. Now we have Human Torch. Human Torch's left click is going to be Fire Cluster, launching a forward splittable fireball. Now, is it going to be some weird Volkos geometry stuff, or is it going to be it hits the target and then it splits into more fireballs? We're not sure, but that's going to be his main projectile primary fire. Next up is going to be team up with Storm, and he has an active on his X key, Omega Fire. Storm can consume one of Human Torch's fire tornadoes into her ultimate to ignite her hurricane. Likewise, Human Torch can turn Storm's hurricane into a fiery hurricane with his ultimate, which will then enlarge and intensify any of his fire tornadoes caught in its path. Weirdly enough, this does seem like a bonus to his ultimate, but it is on a key, like the X key, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. We'll just have to see what happens in game. The next one is going to be his ultimate, Supernova. Unleash shockwaves to deal damage to enemies within range. During skill activation, the flame field will transform into a flame tornado. Kind of reminds me of Scarlet ult, but probably just producing a bunch of shockwaves around him. Like Thor's ultimate, how it makes a bunch of damage before he ults. Except he does have flame field, so you probably want to throw your flame field before the ultimate to turn them into fire tornadoes. And what's a flame field? Well, that would be his right click button. Launch a fireball to create a flame field at the targeted area. So this ability is going to be insane for choke points. How are enemies supposed to get by this? Who knows? They have to walk through it and take some damage. And the next one is going to be Plasma Body. Hold L shift to enter a state of accelerated ascent. So probably something like Iron Man's flight or even Star-Lord's. Pyro Prison. Connect flame fields to form a firewall that deals burning damage to enemies. So this hero is going to be a very zone control heavy that isn't just throwing fireballs at people, it's going to be very zone control heavy. Now, Flaming Meteor, dive towards the ground and stun nearby enemies. This is interesting as he's probably going to have 250 health and be very squishy, but it does stun them. So I assume it's going to be something like Venom that can just stun enemies instead of knocking them up. But he's going to be right into the enemy, and yes, he's probably going to be a duelist. I'm not sure, a squishy ranged duelist going head first into enemy. We'll see if he dies or not. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Thing. Slam Moment Q. This will be his ultimate. Uses Tremendous Force to knock all enemies in front of you into the air. So I'm guessing he slams the ground and everyone's just stunned into the air, so everyone can just shoot him. I'm thinking something similar to Doctor Strange's ultimate, but we'll see what happens. Maybe you can actually move around a bit. The next one is going to be Furious Charge. Continuously charge forward, lifting up enemies in your path, leaving behind a seismic zone that prohibits displacement. I did think this was like Namor's ultimate, where it doesn't allow you to use mobility abilities, but apparently I think it means you just can't be displaced, like Venom diving into you and launching you up, or Magic launching you into air with her E. That's what I think, but this seems like a nerf to some of the champions that might be on your team. Next up is going to be Battle Support E. Jump towards teammates and adds damage reduction to them and yourself. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of Hulk Gamma Shield, but this one seems like you can target your own allies and then give them damage reduction, so we'll see what happens with this one. He is kind of like Hulk in terms of their battle styles in the movies and comics. Next up is going to be his left click combination punch, quick and continuous punches. I feel like this is going to be like Hulk left click, but a bit faster, maybe a lot faster. Next one is going to be Thunderbolt Punch. Deliver a devastating punch through his right click. So it's going to do a lot of damage, just like Hulk's right click, but it's not going to be ranged. It's going to be up close and personal. You'll probably see a left click to right click combo. And he has a passive Solid as Rock, immune to enemy knockback, knockdown, and other displacement effects. So he's actually immune to Namor's ultimate. That actually knocks you down. He's immune to Magic's E combo, which launches you in the air. Venom's Diving Strike. I think he's even immune to Spider-Man slinging him to him. He's going to be maybe a counter to Thor, as Thor can't even shift him. He's going to be a very interesting character and a counter to some matchups, so we'll see. This is what actually probably makes him different than Hulk. And finally, we have Invisible Woman's abilities. She has a primary fire heal damage, you know, just like Luna Snow, Loki, so it's going to be something similar to them. Grants teammates a wide front-facing shield. She has a knockback tunnel ability. I'm guessing like a force pulse that knocks back enemies in front of her to the left and right side. And a gravity bomb ability, dot damage plus CC. So she has 2 CCs already and a double jump. Her ultimate is a wide ring that heals teammates after the player chooses a deploy location, whatever that means. It sounds like when you cocoon as Mantis, Star-Lord, or Adam Warlock, but that would mean they have a revive. That doesn't make sense. Also, yes, she can go invisible. He just forgot to leak that as well. So invisibility already exists. Loki can do it with his right click. So that's going to be her escape ability when enemies dive her or try to fight her. And finally, we have the release date for everything. So Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic will be the 2 heroes at launch on January 10th. And Human Torch and the Thing will appear mid-season, which is about 1.5 months after the launch. So you'll probably see them somewhere near the end of February and early March. While we're also getting a new map, which is going to be New York, Hela and Hawkeye adjustments, aka nerfs, Storm, Wolverine, and Cloak adjustments, which I think they're going to be buffs, apparently is what it was leaked, as well as Captain America and Venom movement speed buffs. And that's it. What do you guys think is going to happen? Let me know your comments in below, as well as make sure to subscribe. You'll be entered for a Battle Pass giveaway. I do feel like Mr. Fantastic is going to be a really OP hero. Invisible Woman having 2 CCs is going to be very interesting as a support. January 10th is going to be very big, as that's also when the season starts. There's not going to be any early game access to playing these heroes before the season starts. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of people probably first trying them in ranked and then probably inting on your team. But with that being said, thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.